theater group.
Hi. My name is Yulia. It's spelled like Y-U-L-I-A. I'm from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is the second largest city based on the east side of Ukraine. I came here about 3 months ago. All airports in Ukraine are inoperational because of Russian missiles.
Hi.
So
My name is Yulia. It's spelled like Y-U-L-I-A. I'm from Kharkiv.
Hi.
Kharkiv is
My
the
name is
second
Yulia.
largest city
It's spelled
based
like
on the east side of Ukraine.
Y-U-L-I-A.
I came here
I'm from
about
Kharkiv.
3 months ago.
Kharkiv is the
All
second largest
airports in
city
Ukraine
based on
are
the east side of
inoperational because
Ukraine.
of Russian missiles.
I came here
So,
about 3
to
months
came
ago.
here, I've got a
All
train.
airports in Ukraine are
From
inoperational.
Kharkiv to
because
Hi.
of-
Our name is Yulia. It's spelled like Y-U-L-I-A. We are from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is the second largest city based on the east side of Ukraine. We came here about 3 months ago. All airports in Ukraine were rendered inoperational.
Hi, my name is Yulia. It's spelled like Y-U-L-I-A. I'm from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is the second largest city based on the east side of Ukraine. I came here about 3 months ago. All airports in Ukraine are inoperational because of Russian missiles. So to came here, I've got a train from Kharkiv to Kyiv, from Kyiv to Ham, Poland, and then from Ham to Warsaw. Then I've got a flight, Warsaw, Stockholm, Stockholm, New York, New York, Pittsburgh. From Pittsburgh, we came to Buffalo, so Niagara Falls. From Buffalo and Niagara Falls, we came to New Brunswick, Frenchtown, Osbury Park. We saw an ocean. Then we came to West Long Branch, we came to Baltimore, we came to Frederick, then we came back to Pittsburgh. And we had an amazing, very delicious Thanksgiving dinner. And we had a turkey, we had mashed potatoes, we had sweet potatoes with marshmallow. How do you call them in English? Then we came to Washington, D.C. So here in D.C., our group of Ukrainian American artists are creating a performance named Motherland, based on a short story by Ukrainian writer Mykola Khyvylovy called I Am Romantics. Я романтика.
Today is the 13th. My favorite number. Today is gonna happen something incredible. What could it be? Who knows?
This is Mykola Khyvylovy. He's a writer and he's from Kharkiv.
My editors want to republish my writings with the title Writings. Obviously, I am against.
We are for.
I am against.
We are for.
I'm sitting down to reread my essays. Actually, they are very boring. And I sit down to write a new one. But what should it be?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I should write something. It's necessary.
The term of my writings. I am, excuse my Voltaireanism, a romantic. That is the reason why I will search for myself for next 120 years. I'm going to live 150.
My influences. I completely agree with the honorable critics who find my work utterly unoriginal.
The language of my works is extremely clumsy.
That is the end. I could be the author of only one essay. And that's what I'm willing to do. And that will be the end.
Mykola Khyvylovy, Ukrainian writer who wrote a short story called Я, Romantica. The main hero, officer of secret police, should decide whether or not to execute his own mother. From the distant, misty regions, from that calm lakes of that intangible commune, there rustles a whisper. Maria is coming. I go out into the boundless fields, pass over the hilly crests, and walk into the places where the tumuli grows. I look into the distance, and then everything disappears. I raise my eyelids and try to recollect. In truth, my mother is the prototype of that extraordinary Maria who stands on the boundless of ages unknown. My mother is calmness, silent grief,
and boundless kindness.
that I well remember. Mom, Mama!
I lose myself in the allays. Finally, I come to the solitary house where my mother lives.
Mother,
There smells of mint.
the mint is wilting. My dear son,
He's not asleep.
you've tortured yourself to death.
Am I?
You've tortured yourself to death.
tortured myself to death.
How tired I am, mother. Are you asleep?
I remember a big vanity mirror in my grandparents' house. It consisted of 3 flaps, so I closed 2 of them so they touched my face. And I imagined that I'm a big, big dragon with hundreds of heads. But it was forbidden to close these flaps and leave them like that because my grandmother said only when somebody in the house recently died, mirrors are closed.
As a child, I was afraid of the dark, or rather what might be hiding in it. Once I was walking at night home with my dad. I was scared. It was night, it was dark, and I started to sing as loud as I could. But my father, he interrupted me and asked, "Why are you screaming?" "Because I'm afraid." So, in this case, he said, "Everybody in the darkness will hear you, but you will hear nothing."
I remember being alone in my room. It's my first memory. I was about 2 years old, tiny, bald baby. I was sitting alone with different objects around me in a circle. My mother put them there for me so that I could play with something until she came back from work. But honestly, I needed her, not toys. The only object that really interested me was an old rotary phone. My mother put them there for me and teach me how to use it. So here I am, tiny bald baby, and I was spinning the dial with my little fingers with the hope to hear my mother's voice. "Mommy, will you come to me? Mommy, will you come to me?"
I remember wet clothes, on top of wet clothes, as I was running outside in the rain. And I remember the feeling of taking off those wet clothes, heavy with water, as I got ready to slip into a warm bubble bath. I remember the first time I took a bath with a boy. He was a neighbor, a friend of mine, about a year younger than me. And I remember when I noticed that our bodies were different. And I felt shame.
I'm entering my role. I'm a Chekist. I enter the palace of the prince, now the dark tribunal of a commune. It's easy to recognize my comrades. Dr. Tagabat.
Yes, him, and him, and him, and Andriusha.
necessary here. Let me go.
And the third, a degenerate, a faithful sentinel stationed on guard.
The Dark Tribunal is in full session.
The city is dead. The citizens know that in 3 or 4 days, we shall have disappeared, that our counterattacks are in vain. In dark, burly silhouettes in the east stands the palace of the princes, now the dark tribunal of the Commune. I look to it, and suddenly I recall there are 6 lives on my conscience. 6 on my conscience. No, it is not true. 600, 6,000, 6 million, numberless hosts are on my conscience.
Is it not crystal clear, comrades, that all the evils of this world spring from the west? From the west! What then shall we do? Oh, yes, just get rid of, homosexual armies. Yes, and, vegan babies. Yes, and, Anglo-Saxons. Yes, and we could, oh, yes, we could push the red button. Yes, yes, because, all men are animals, and all animals are enemies, and all enemies are enemies, and all men are animals, and animals are men, and enemies are enemies, and enemies are...
I saw an execution. Let's talk about the executions. And let's talk about the executioners. Let's talk to them. Let's talk with them. Let's talk about them. Let's try to understand them, and then let's try to justify them, and no, let's better divide bad executioners from good executioners. So let's talk only about everything good. Let's talk only with good executioners. And then let's talk with bad executioners. No, let's talk about everything good. Let's talk about ballets and about pancakes and milkshakes and explosions and my legs that were shaking. And let's talk about hundreds executed in Izum, Kharkiv. And let's talk about falling in love with a soldier, and about amusement parks, and bad politicians, and exterminated renaissance, and responsibility, and good coffee, great beauty, big love, and nuclear war. And let's talk about amazing latte, and about my
Mother.
land, and about
My.
Khyvylovy's mother. My mother is
My mother.
calmness
Silent grief.
and boundless kindness.
I well remember.
My mother is the prototype. Dear Kolunichka,
My dear son,
my dear son, I miss you so much. I miss you. All this time I was waiting for money that you promised to send. 2 months have passed, and I still have neither money, not even a letter from you. So I decided to write you again. My mother is calmness,
My mother is
silent grief,
silence.
and boundless kindness.
My-
That I well remember.
That I will remember.
My mother is calmness,
Calmness.
grief, and boundless.
My mother is.
My mother is the
mother is
prototype of
silence.
that
My mother
extraordinary
is
Maria.
silent grief.
I'm writing to
you
My mother.
because it's really hard times now
My mother.
in our village.
My mother is silence.
People are
My mother
starving.
is silent grief.
There is nothing to eat.
My mother
People
is.
have bread from
My mother
sodas.
is silence. My
mother is
my
calmness.
mother is.
People are
silence. I
starving.
will remember.
And they are laying on the streets. There are some of them who are dead
My
already.
mother is.
We need your help. I need your help.
Silence.
I need your help.
My mother is silent.
Why haven't you
mother
writing
is
words from
silent.
you? Why haven't I
My
heard
mother
a
is
word from
silent.
you?
My mother is.
I'm your mother.
Of this extraordinary
I'm mother
Maria.
to
My
my
mother is
son.
silent.
And I need your help. I need your help.
My mother is
Please,
silent.
please help me. Please, I need your help and I'm your mother.
I madly love the sky, the stars, brooding evening and gentle autumn mornings. I adore women with gentle, kind and clever eyes. And I regret that I wasn't born as gorgeous as Leopard. I madly love our Ukrainian steppes and cherry gardens. And I can taste the future of our country. I believe in the Commune beyond the hills. I believe so insanely that I could die. I could die. I'm a dreamer. And from the high of my huge arrogance, I spit on the silly skepticism of our skeptical age. So, let life live. Let the world live. I believe today. Today is a beautiful day. Today. I truly adore life. You cannot imagine how much. Today is the 13th. Do you remember? I was in love with that number. So let communism leave. Let socialistic construction leave. Let communistic party leave. Everything passed to my daughter with copyright. I asked my comrades to help her and my mother. And until we see each other again.
Hurry up, maybe it's the last train. Let us in. Please, let us in. Is it a betrayal to escape?
A big layer of dust on the window pane every morning. They say that we're lucky to live among the nature.
Скажи, чому спалили наше місто? Скажи принаймні, що це було ненавмисно. Скажи принаймні, що буде покарано винних. Скажи взагалі хоч щось, що не буде сказано в новинах.
Шановні пасажири,
Будь ласка,
потяг Київка
дайте пройти.
відправляється о
Будь ласка.
17:00.
Я мама.
Нумерація вагонів починається
Please.
зі східної сторони
I have a
вокзалу.
child. Please.
Вода.
Дайте
До
пройти.
уваги пасажирів.
Вода.
Я не мама.
Влажные салфетки.
Лінія
Дайте
Київка.
пройти, будь ласка. Я маму. Please.
До уваги
Дайте
пасажирів.
пройти. Let me through.
На Белгород.
Let me through.
Лінія плейврайт тимчасово не обслуговується. Лінія Київ-Бахмут тимчасово не обслуговується. Лінія Київ-Донець тимчасово не обслуговується. Лінія
As long as I have known myself, I've been running. I am a runner. I'm running and looking at the buildings. I know every corner. The map of the districts on my fingerprints. I'm listening to a song in my headphones.
Україна мати, ми за Україну підемо воювати.
I've never really listened to this song before. I am running with a tourniquet under my top in case of massive bleeding. I know that in case of massive bleeding, I will have only 30 seconds to attach the tourniquet. I am running through the stadium, and I am running home.
Прийшла до нього, рідна мати його, плаче і ридає, жалує його.
Am I a victim? Am I a fighter? I'm running home.
Мами ж наші мами, не плачте за нами, не плачте за нами гіркими сльозами.
I'll never be able to flee this place. I'm a fighter, and I'm running home.
Ой, як мати сина свого поховала, на його могилі слова написала.
I'm a runner. I'm running near the river. I see a lot of skyscrapers, a lot of glass. Fragments of glass are dangerous. If I die now, no one will understand the song played in my headphones.
На його могилі слова написала. Слава Україні, всім героям слава! I'm running home. I cannot stop. I'm not a refugee, I'm a runner. I'm running home. I see Michigan Lake. When will I get home? Mom! Mom!
Mom!
How long does it take?
I just want to go home.
Mom!
Mom, I just want
I
to
just
go
need a
home.
moment of rest.
I just need a moment of rest.
I
How
just-
long does it take to go
Do I
home?
have a moment of rest?
L'Ukraine est le second pays le plus nucléarisé au monde, après la France, avec 70,6% de son électricité. L'Ukraine dispose en effet de 15 réacteurs de conception soviétique, des VVER, réacteurs à eau pressurisée de 1000 MW et de 440 MW, répartis sur 4 sites. Mais ceux-ci fonctionnent, depuis des années, en limite de sûreté. C'est pourquoi Zelensky veut continuer à les moderniser et à en construire de nouveaux. Les autorités ukrainiennes doivent impérativement conduire un programme de pérennisation de leur production d'électricité d'origine nucléaire pour poursuivre l'approvisionnement électrique du pays.
There will be a storm.
The hundreds of executions.
Ідуть глухі нарікання, може спалахнути бунт.
There's a new part of Versailles in the city.
The cellar is full to capacity.
Hundreds of executions.
Execute.
Execute?
I am a Chekist,
The cellar is full to capacity.
but I'm also a human. Execute. Execute.
You yourself is
I am
Unnecessary here.
Chekist,
Unnecessary here.
but I'm also a Chekist.
The cellar is full to capacity.
I am a Chekist, but
Unnecessary
I
here.
am a
I'm not necessary.
Chekist.
Listen, my friend. Let me go.
Where to?
To the front. I cannot stay here any longer.
He wants to escape. He wants to be far away from this filthy, dirty work. He transfers to me.
his right to bathe in puddles of blood. You forget yourself? If you will mention this again, I will have you executed at once.
Yes. Him. And 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 him.
Execute. I do not agree with you, Doctor.
You don't agree with me.
I cannot stay here any longer.
You can.
Execute.
Let it go.
Execute.
Let it go.
Execute.
I cannot restrain myself anymore. To be executed. Name.
X.
Next. Last name.
Y.
Age.
Something.
Occupation.
Worker.
Next.
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 dear son. My dear rebellious son, you've tortured yourself to death.
You can never really be prepared for anything. But what really gets me is what they didn't tell me. What the women didn't tell me, what the mothers didn't tell me. Take, for example, breastfeeding. No, my mother told me something about this. She told me that it would feel like someone sticking a knitting needle through my nipple for the first month, and then it would get better. And she was right. And I'm glad she told me. Because if she hadn't, I probably would have stopped. I would have thought that I was doing something wrong, that something was wrong, and these moments are some of our favorites, some of the most intimate. In fact, she likes it so much that sometimes she could spend 2-3 hours just hanging on. And what they didn't tell me is that I, as a free and independent woman, would sometimes want to do other things. Like, I don't know, eat a sandwich, or brush my hair, or go to the bathroom. So here I am, my pants are on my ankles, feeding my daughter. And what they didn't tell me is what happened next. The thoughts.
You're a bad mother.
Can you believe her?
How could you do that?
You are a bad person.
Seriously now, yes?
Have you heard?
And just to make it clear, I've raised 6 children, and I never went to the bathroom while feeding them.
No. Then I thought, this is maternity. Me, with my pants around my ankles, feeding my daughter.
Oi.
It's not some maternity ward hall advertisement. Or what they sell you in women's magazines.
What a wonderful weather.
It's not some Hollywood fantasy. It's me brushing my hair with one hand while she pulls out the rest of it with the other.
You should go to school and eat your vegetables. And then you should have a good grades and go to university, Stanford. And then you should get a good job and get married. But if ever you get tattooed or become a homosexual or, God help me, an artist, you can go! And never come back again.
No. Something else. Something much worse that they didn't tell me is best related through a story. When she was about 3 weeks old, I was walking in the hallway and there was some water and I slipped. I didn't fall. She didn't fall. But I slipped just enough to get that feeling in my stomach like I was going to fall. And now, what they didn't tell me is what happened next. I saw her, 3 weeks old, fly out of my arms, land on the ground, break her neck, and die.
This is maternity.
And then, I saw a second image. I saw myself fall forward, on top of her, crushing her, sitting there holding my 3-week-old baby, dead in my arms.
This is maternity.
Then, I saw myself again, 10 years down the road, divorced. My husband had left me because I couldn't take care of our daughter for 3 weeks.
This is maternity.
A shell of a woman
This is maternity. This is maternity.
because I had lost the right to be a mother.
This is maternity. This is maternity. My dear son, my dear rebellious son, you've tortured yourself to death.
I'll do it myself.
How are you? Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm thinking of you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Can I do something?
Is it loud?
I don't know.
Are you safe?
Do you have electricity?
Hi.
Do you have water?
How
Charge
can
your
I
phone,
help
please.
you?
How is your sister's house?
Hug you.
Do you have water?
What do you need?
What news?
Is
Hi.
it cold there?
I'm fine.
I'm
Do you have
thinking of you.
heating?
Are you? Is it
How
necessary?
can I help you?
Something
miss
to
you.
eat?
I love you.
What can I do?
Lisa, mark the
Hi.
safe.
Hi.
I'm
Hi.
okay.
Are you safe?
I don't know.
What can I do?
Dasha marked as safe.
Hug you. Veronica, marked as safe.
Love you.
Audrey and Lily, marked as safe.
Julia, marked as safe.
Thank you for joining us at Millennium Stage. For more information about upcoming shows, please check out the Kennedy Center website or online on Facebook. As we prepare for our next show, we ask that you make your way to the back of the seating area. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.